Shout out BruceGas, aka Toka 2. You know I had to drop a trap for my boy.
Hey, where you at?
Yeah, I've been in your rapping boys out here telling favors. I'm the hardest young nigga, I ain't signed to no label. Hey, BruceGas putting them fights on the table. Calling that boxing since Kane versus Abel. Smoking so much gas, you would think that shit was fatal. The people's champion like Muhammad Ali. Shout out BruceGas, one day we gon' meet. Yeah, we gon' blow it down, we gon' smoke hella weed. Yeah, we gon' blow it down, take a hit out the Toka 2. Slipping hella shots, feel like Tyson with the peak. With little Glock on my side, but it hit just like Isaac Cruz. Shout out man, Chad, real shit, that's my fucking dude. We always cooking on the panel. Strapped to my side, I ain't talking about no sandwich. Bruce passed me the blunt, I'ma light it like a candle. Ayy, non-stop bars, man, I always spit flames. Feel like BruceGas always got a different strain. Bitch, you ain't like me, you can never feel my pain. You win and you lose, well, this the fight game. Don't beef on the net and the shit won't change. Said that on the stream, gotta do it for the game. Said that on the stream, gotta do it for the chat. I ain't undisputed. Yeah, hold on, I ain't undisputed, but I want all the straps.
Salute, good evening. Let me turn this down a bit. How's that? There we go. A little bit more in the background now. Is that volume okay? Please let me know. Please let me know because I'm tone deaf now. The Pigeon was the first guy in here. Hey, my brother, One Round with George Jakovic is here too, man. Stop motion, salute my brother. Thank you so much for coming by, man. Let's see what the Pigeon. Look at this comment, bro. Now this is boxing. No madness, mentally ill freaks on panels talking whack. When in real life they would get told, they would get not laid out cold in seconds. Real content here. Thanks, Bruce, Bruno, and wife. And that's by the Pigeon. So I mean, you can only take that so much. But shout out to the Pigeon on that one, man. Stop motion. Salute my brother. Thank you for coming by, man. Lonnie Lee, bro, appreciate you coming in here, man. Always showing the support. Just Boxing Talk, man. Daniel Berry, appreciate you too, brother. And there's my man, my old co-host, George Jakovic. Salute my brother George. Technique, how you doing, my bro? Good to see you in here, man. Good to see you all in here, man. Today, before I get into this tournament, L Harvey, bro, peace, my brother. Thank you much for coming by, bro. Today, on this day in 1981, the great the great Larry Holmes took on a former heavyweight champ in his own right, Leon Spinks. And man, you know, it was, wow, 1981. What is that? That's 43 years. Wow. Long time, man. But anyway, it was a real interesting fight. And I'm going to show that. And maybe we can get a few more people in here. And see, this is courtesy of my friend, Nick M. Nick M's boxing channel, man. Nick M, really, really nice guy. He's got a channel out there, man. Please go check it out. He's got classic fights on there, and he's gracious enough to allow me to show these fights on here. We used to do it all the time, but now that I'm monetized, I got to make sure that I have the okay to do this. And you know, we can do it in the TV set in the back, or we can do it on the main screen. But we'll let the combatants. We'll let the combatants come down to the ring. And I remember watching this fight on a Friday night, Wide World of Sports. You know, and I gave Leon a chance in this fight, George. I thought Leon might do it. Because see, this is in 1981. Larry Holmes has not come into his prime yet. A lot of question marks running around about Larry Holmes. And Leon Spinks, man, former world champion. He had been beaten by Harry Coetzee after he had lost to Ali, but there was still some magic in the name, and who didn't love Leon Spinks? You You know, he's being led to the ring by his brother Michael Spinks. Man, I mean, you know, to live through this era. That's why it says on the bottom here, this little quote that I put up here today. Don't be sad that the good old days are gone. Be glad that you got to live them. And man, and Leon was a folk hero back in those days. But we can see him, man. We can see him. He's going into this ring. He's taking on undefeated Larry Holmes. What was Larry's record? I don't even want to go and divulge into box rec, but Larry was undefeated, and Leon is saying his prayers in there. And I think Leon, you know, we're gonna watch this fight happen a little bit. Leon's a number 2 ranked heavyweight contender. I guess this is in the WBC, because that's the only title that Larry had at the time, and he was later awarded the IBF. But there he comes, man. He's being led to the ring. Is that Richie Giacchetti that's with him? I don't think so. I think this is when he had Benton with him, and he had all his old Philly trainers with him back then, man. But Larry Holmes, Larry was the man back in the 80s. Larry Holmes in the late 70s, early 80s, before Mike Tyson came onto the scene, and we're going to see the emergence of Mike Tyson in this heavyweight tournament that's coming up, the Don King heavyweight tournament, which was really, really special. You know, we talk about Turkey Al Sheik, what he's doing today, but back then, see, 37-0, Larry Holmes. Let's put him on the big screen, man. He deserved it. And Leon gave us some great moments. You know, when Leon came out of that 76 Olympic team with a gold medal, and they threw him in there against Muhammad Ali. He only had 7 fights. He had 1 draw on his record. And you know, I mean, the rest is history. But then Leon ran into some. You know, he got beat by Ali in the rematch, and I talked to my brother Leon Mohammed, who was with Butch Lewis, and he was with the Leon Spinks camp down in New Orleans for the rematch. And he told me that Leon came in from an overnight. He was supposed to be in bed and in camp, and he was out playing pool and chasing the ladies around. So, I mean, Leon wasn't prepared mentally to hold the heavyweight championship of the world. He was only a small guy, too. He was barely 200 pounds when he beat Ali. But this was you know, because he had the name. Larry Holmes needed some notches on his gun. They were still talking about the fight we showed last night with Tim Witherspoon. We showed the Larry Holmes and Jerry Cooney fight on the anniversary of that fight. There's so many anniversaries, which is cool. Another trip around the sun. And there's Leon. Leon's looking to regain past glory. And I think Leon, in this fight, he just said, fuck it. What was the best Larry Holmes I've ever seen? I mean, Larry had that streak. But when he fought Jerry Cooney, that was pretty much the best Larry Holmes that I've seen. You know, Larry had that run from about 78 until about 85 when he ran 85, 86 when he ran into Michael Spinks. When he was beating everybody, but see, Larry wanted to get that 50-0. He wanted to beat Marciano's record. And there's my brother L Dub, man, the Rolodex of boxing, man. Shout out to L Dub out there, man. And here we go, the first round. And as you can see, Leon is just moving forward. I think Leon just said, "Fuck it. I'm just going to go out there and I'm going to go for broke in this fight." He's going to try to catch Larry. He's going to try to catch Larry by surprise, man. You know, Larry he's got the Jerry Cooney fight on his mind, and Larry fought 3 times in 1981, if I recall. He fought Ronaldo Snipes. He fought Leon Spinks, and I'll think of that third fight in a second. Angel Diaz, my bro, salute, bro. I'll be here for a little while, brother. We're gonna go back and we're gonna go to the Don King heavyweight tournament. But on this day in 1981, this fight happened, and I mean, we got to do Leon Spinks some justice and Larry Holmes some justice and show them that we remember this fight because that's all they got left of memories now, bro. And some people they try to deny this shit. This is great stuff. I mean, look at Leon trying to move forward and Larry going side to side, shooting out that left jab, right hand always cocked, always ready to do some damage. I got to do a hit while I'm watching this, man. My blood pressure's going up. A little bit of blue lunch to get me in the mood to delve back into those years of 1986 and 1987. Probably two of the darkest years of my life. And maybe we'll get into that too, but right now, 43 years ago, this fight happened. See, look at Leon. Larry Holmes wasn't considered the great champion that he's considered now, and Leon has. Everybody thought the loss to Ali, that was blamed on Leon being a young partier, and he got knocked out by Coetzee. But fans weren't as educated now as they were back. They weren't as educated now as they were back then. You could whitewash something. A lot of people didn't even know that Leon got beat by Harry Coetzee. And this is how we didn't have. You got to get your knowledge from the magazines or watching these fights live on the Wide World of Sports and watching their preludes. But yeah, see, Leon is just putting his best foot forward. Jelly Bean, how we doing, my brother? And Larry is trying to set. Larry's trying to get set. Drop that right hand. And you can see, man, this is from Nick M's collection. My brother Nick M's Classic Boxing Channel. This is right from a VCR. I think I probably had this fight on the VCR too. All my VCR tapes got destroyed. I had I must have had 30, 40 of them. And they're like 4 or 5 hours on each tape. So, oh my goodness. My entire boxing collection. But they're all available on YouTube now anyway. So, hey, I think we're better off now than if I'd be sticking them in the old VCR. But see, Leon, once again, Leon is moving forward. He just said, screw this. I'm going to go for broke. I'm going to knock out Larry Holmes. I want that title again. Leon went from 0 to hero, and then he lost it all again real fast. I mean, Leon basically was tending bar in Detroit after these fights were over. Back in the mid '80s, Leon was tending bar in Detroit. Like I said, man, we talk about how these fighters have no pension, no fallback plan, and Leon was a perfect example of that. Got millions of dollars, died broke. Skills from New Orleans, my brother. Thank you so much for stopping by, man. Celebrating the anniversary of Larry Holmes' victory over Leon Spinks, and this isn't a long fight, so let's not get too complacent in here. See, Larry's just cut that right hand cocked. He's just popping that jab from the hip. Larry had hey, Wheelchair John, salute my brother. Good to see you in here, man. Seawood, bro. Thank you so much for coming by. Appreciate it. He's gonna blow the schnoz, get the pollen out of there, man. Pollen is a killer this year. Not so much for me yet, but I don't want to take any chances. I sniffle enough, so I'm gonna keep the old schnoz flowing free. But see, look at Larry, man. Larry is shooting that left jab from the hip. He's just trying to time Leon. Leon's just coming in recklessly, throwing both hands. Leon's got a real tough style, bro, but Larry Holmes was just approaching his prime, getting ready to just to show us the greatness. Larry Holmes is blooming right now. We're going to talk about that in a second, Wheelchair brother. We're going to talk about I'm going to relive it, man. I saw that tournament, every fight in there. It was just so exciting. Never in boxing history was anything like that ever done. And see, look at little Leon, man. Leon is just flailing away, and Larry's going, yeah, you want to go slugging? We'll slug. Yeah, look at this shit. Oh, yeah. And the fans are on their feet. There he is, my brother, the drunk Irishman. And I think this is the fateful third round. I think the fight gets stopped in this round. You see Leon herky jerky, balls to the wall. Just said, fuck it, man. I'm going for broke. Larry wants to take him out of there. Larry'd already beaten Muhammad Ali. And Leon is, man, he's got youth on his side. He's just ready to rumble. Oh, Leon throws a right hand, slips. And Larry's just saying, man, I got to get this crazy kid out of here before he gets lucky. Leon did have some success in his career. Like I said, he had the draw with Ledoux, beat Bernardo Mercado. Oh, just got. See, Larry is figuring him out right now. Larry is got the distance down. Larry is starting to drop those right hands, really manhandling Leon. Larry's starting to drop the coup de grace. He's got Leon cornered. That's not where Leon wants to be. He's just boom, setting him up with the left, dropping the right. I mean, he must hit him with 10 or 12 unanswered punches. I think Larry even looks at the referee. Are you going to stop this or what? I don't know if it's even stopped yet. Bud Files, salute people. How we doing, man? The wide world of sports cameras in the background. And see, the referee lets it continue. And I think Larry even looks at him and says, are you going to let me just kill this guy or what? Larry throws one of his very, very evasive left hooks. And boom, but just that right hand, he's holding him with his left. Watch Larry take a peek at the referee. Said, "Are you gonna let me? Are you gonna let this slaughter continue?" No, that was it. I guess not, man. But that was a historic fight on this day in 1981. Larry Holmes and Leon Spinks, and definitely one to remember, one that we can put in our books over here. But this Don King heavyweight tournament, this was something real special. And HBO put this together. It seemed to come out of nowhere. You know, Don King was putting on championship fights on HBO, but never in a million years did we think we were going to get the IBF, the WBA, and the WBC champions all together in the same tournament. But this happened. Listen, these are the fighters that were involved in the tournament. You had Trevor Berbick, you had Pinklin Thomas, you had Larry Holmes, you had Michael Spinks, you had Tim Witherspoon, you had Frank Bruno, you had Stefan Tangstad. He's a fighter from Norway. Or was it Denmark? But anyway, he was a IBF #1 contender. Michael Spinks had to fight him. He was included in the tournament. Trevor Berbick was in the tournament. Mike Tyson, all of a sudden, out of nowhere, he became a participant in the tournament. Bone Crusher Smith was in the tournament. Buster Douglas was in the tournament. Tony Tucker was in the tournament. And last but not least, former champion Pinklin Thomas, who lost his title just before the tournament started. Pinklin came in the tournament. Pinklin lost the first fight to Trevor Berbick, and he was allowed to come back into the tournament. Whereas Tim Witherspoon wasn't allowed to come back, but that was Don King. You know, it started on March 22nd, 1986 with Trevor Berbick and Pinklin Thomas. And it was kind of a dull fight. Berbick had won Pinklin Thomas had won the WBC title from Tim Witherspoon on his first defense. And Trevor Berbick had fought Larry Holmes. He had fought Muhammad Ali. He had been a pretty active fighter in the WBC ranks. He defeated Pinklon Thomas with an upset to start the tournament off. So Pinklon Thomas is eliminated. And then Larry Holmes came into the tournament. Larry Holmes was fighting Michael Spinks in the rematch. And in this fight, I thought Larry Holmes won this fight. It was given to Spinks. I thought the decision was terrible on it, but the powers that be didn't like Larry Holmes too much at the time. In the first fight, Larry Holmes had insulted the judges. He insulted Marciano's family because the driving force behind Larry Holmes was to get to that 50-0 record that Marciano held, and Michael Spinks was the guy who stopped that rampage. So Larry had to he couldn't beat that record, but this was his rematch with Michael Spinks, and Larry had badmouthed the press, saying that the referee was drunk, that the ringside reporters had given the first fight to Spinks, and Holmes said that they robbed him. Marciano, that was a famous line, Rocky Marciano couldn't carry my jockstrap. That was in this tournament. This funky tournament that Don King put on, that only Turkey Al-Sheikh might be rivaling today with all this stuff he's doing in the heavyweight division. Emzid, salute, bro. Yep. I mean, there's so many would have, could have, and should have that should have happened in this tournament, but it was just wild that it was coming to us. And see, the way that we knew these fights were happening was the Sunday paper. That's how a boxing fans back in the day. That's how your boxing day started. You got that your boxing week rather. It started on Sunday morning. You got that Sunday paper, and it had the TV guide in there. And hey, Rashkalat, how we doing, brother? And the TV guide had the fights on. If there were going to be fights on Sunday afternoons, then we knew it. We could watch them if there were going to be fights on the following Saturday. And this is how we got the information. We didn't know the fights were going on. They weren't being marinated as they are today. They were just signed. We saw them a week or two ahead, and that was it, man. And the fights were happening. So anyway, man, like I said, Larry Holmes took on Michael Spinks in that rematch, and they gave that one to Michael Spinks. So Michael Spinks continues on in the tournament, and Larry Holmes is out of the tournament. And Larry Holmes was bitter, said he wasn't coming back to boxing. He did, but anyway, man, he stayed out until he fought Mike Tyson, after Tyson had already gone through this tournament. You get the have a drink of water, another toke, and we'll get into the next fight of the tournament. The next fight was of the international variety, and that was with our brother Tim Witherspoon. That's when he went across the pond and fought Frank Bruno. We heard Tim tell us that story many times. And he knocked out a spectacular knockout. In the 11th round, one of the nicest overhand rights Tim has ever thrown. And anyway, he stopped Frank Bruno, and he continues. And Michael Spinks, he had fought Holmes in April. In September, he comes down and he fights Stephan Tangstad. And who's Stephan Tangstad? Stephan Tangstad. Let me go look so I don't get it wrong. I believe he was out of Denmark. Let's check it out. Norwegian. Okay, man, he was out of Norway, and he beat the European class fighters. He got the victories over guys like actually has a draw with James Buster Douglas. That was where he made his mark in the international scene. But he's got victories over Canada's Ken Macusta, Joe Bugner, Lucian Rodriguez, Anders Eklund, Alfredo Evangelista, all the heavyweights of Europe back in the day. But anyway, man, he took on Michael Spinks. Michael Spinks knocked him out, and that was part of the tournament. So Michael Spinks advances. Stephen Tankstead, easy victory for Spinks, but that was his mandatory contract, so Don King had no problem throwing that one in the tournament. And that was September of '86. And like I said, this was one of the craziest times of my life. I was full-blown heroin addict for those 2 years. It was crazy, man. It was a day-to-day existence. I think the only thing that kept me sane was boxing. But this tournament here, the following fight in this one was historical. It was Mike Tyson's victory over Trevor Berbick. This water tastes so good, man. I went to my urologist yesterday, man. And I told him, he's the guy who encouraged me to drink a lot of water, to keep the kidneys, keep everything hydrated and flushed, and drink water. I go in there and see him at 10 in the morning. He goes, "Oh, you should already have a liter of water in you." This was a couple of years ago when I first met the guy. I saw him yesterday and I said, Doc, 2 years, nothing but water. Really? Anyway, had what every adult male should have over age 40, bro. You get your PSA, your prostate exam, you get the blood work done, and make sure everything's going from the rooter to the tutor, and that's the key. And I had that done yesterday. So anyway, man, getting back to this fight, this fight was so important in the scheme of things. This was Mike Tyson becoming the youngest heavyweight champion. Mike Tyson wasn't considered to be in this tournament. But on the undercard of the Michael Spinks and the Stephen Tankstead card was Mike Tyson making his HBO debut against Alfonso Ratliff, former cruiserweight champ. And Mike Tyson annihilated Ratliff. I think it was 2 rounds. But all of a sudden, Mike Tyson is projected into the tournament. Not only that, but he's projected into a heavyweight title fight with Trevor Berbick. And he's going to be the youngest, 20 years old, the youngest man to ever win a heavyweight title. It was almost like a foregone conclusion. But it was big. It was at the Las Vegas Hilton. And, people still had a question. They were still doubting Mike Tyson. Trevor Berbick, the classic overachiever, became after his, I don't know if it was his second or third attempt, but anyway, no, the Ali fight wasn't a title fight, but Berbick became a heavyweight champ of the world, and see, that's a fight. My brother hard luck Tim Witherspoon. See, if Tim Witherspoon did not lose his title to Pinklon Thomas, who Trevor Berbick beat in order to get his fight with Mike Tyson, just like that, no fights in between. These guys were fighting at either belt holders or top contenders in these fights. Tim Witherspoon probably would have been, he probably would have fought Mike Tyson for this title. But anyway, history was history. And hey Marvin, how we doing, brother? Good to see you, man. Hey, we got some old timers in here. That's the way we want to see it, man. Randall Tex Cobb would have been better if he fought in the 80s. Well, Randall Tex Cobb, he was that classic face-first fighter, man, and he had a chin of an anvil. He could take a punch like a George Chuvalo, like a Marvin Hagler. I mean, you hit him with a sledgehammer, and he's not going to go down. And Randall Tex Cobb he lacked the punch for a big guy. He lacked the offense, but he was just a love. Everybody loved Randall Tex Cobb, man. Everybody loved Randall Tex Cobb. But Mike Tyson on this day and in this tournament became the youngest heavyweight champion in the world, 20 years old. He hit Trevor Berbick with a left hook that knocked him down 3 times, maybe 4 times. I mean, it was just incredible. Mike Tyson breaks on the scene, and then the next Let me do another hit here. The next fight was a classic. Tim Witherspoon's when he admitted out here when he took the dive to get out of the contract, with Don King, and he saw a way to get out. The only way to get out was with a loss. King controlled him. He had him in a slave contract, and Tim was going out of his mind. And this was what he did, and this was included in this tournament. Tim Witherspoon gets knocked out in the first round by James Bone Crusher Smith. And now the whole order of this tournament is turned upside down, because when this tournament started, Pinklon Thomas was a heavyweight champ, Michael Spinks was a heavyweight champ, and Tim Witherspoon was a heavyweight champ. Now Michael Spinks drops out of the tournament. He's got an offer to fight Michael Spinks, to fight Jerry Cooney. So he opts out of the tournament. He was going to fight #1 IBF contender Tony Tucker, who emerges into the tournament. Michael Spinks sees big money down the road, and also Michael Spinks sees that Mike Tyson just knocks out Trevor Berbick like that, and if he stays in the tournament, he's ultimately going to have to face Mike Tyson. And Michael Spinks was more of a businessman. He saw the way where he could get out of the fight a big fight with Jerry Cooney. And then down the line, when Mike Tyson becomes the unified, undisputed heavyweight champ, he's still not going to be recognized by the people, because Michael Spinks has got the victory over Larry Holmes. So Michael Spinks is the lineal heavyweight champ. You understand that? The whole tournament becomes not the legit tournament it was in the beginning, when you had every possible heavyweight champion there. Now Michael Spinks is saying, nah, I'm not involved in this tournament. I'm taking my Ring magazine and my linear belt, and I'm going my own way. Don King is seething. Let me look at the comments in here, man. I don't get many of them, and I really don't want to pass any of them up. So I appreciate all you cats that are in here right now, man. I really do. I'm just going back and trying to exercise the mind a little bit. I was going to do this yesterday, because this was such a big tournament in boxing, and man, I was fortunate enough to live it. The good part of me, the bad part of me, and it's good to just to relive it and share it out here. And let me go see if I'm on Facebook too, because I got this broadcast there, and I don't see any comments there. But they kind of set it up where you can't really invite people like you could before. But nah, I got nobody watching me over there. Is this the show? Let me refresh that. Make sure I'm even running live on over there. Yeah, we're there, but we're not. Nobody's watching us over there. Hey, what are we gonna do? Great music, organ, guitar, and drums. Hey, bro, this is some free stuff I found that I won't get copywritten on. And I have to have music. If I'm on here by myself, when I'm on here with guests, I don't do it because I gotta make sure I understand them. I don't want the music overplaying them. But when I'm in here by myself, see, my life is run by music. I wake up in the morning, I put the earbuds in, I go for a walk, I listen to it. It varies. Sometimes I'll feel like going bebop. Sometimes I'll feel like doing some country music. Sometimes I'll feel like doing some progressive, some whatever it may be. But whatever it is, it's the way I start my day. Good music. And anyway, this is stuff that I can get away with playing on here, and I'm glad you appreciate it, Marvin. Technique. I missed that Jerry Cooney video yesterday. Jerry was a hell of a contender for sure, bro. Ems and Bruce, do you think Mike Tyson deserves to be as famous and popular as Muhammad Ali while he didn't have the same achievement? Well, there's levels of fame, and that's something that we create. But as far as 1986 to 1989, Mike Tyson was the best out there. He was just invincible during this tournament. And like I said, we'll continue this bad boy, because Mike was the I'm not going to say Mike is in the same class as Muhammad Ali, but if you took a prime Muhammad Ali of 1969, he was in exile, but that would have been his prime 1968 Ali, or 67, man. Ali was stripped of his prime, kind of like Mike Tyson was. But if you put him in there, the Mike Tyson of 86 to 89, this Mike Tyson, that would have been a tough fight, man. That would have been a really, really tough fight to call, because Mike Tyson had those fast, powerful combinations, and he was something to see. And like I said, man, Mike Tyson, the tournament's continuing. Tim Witherspoon is out. Bone Crusher Smith is in now as the new WBA champion. He's awarded for his first defense. After all these years of Bone Crusher Smith, we saw him fight everybody out there. Tim Witherspoon, Larry Holmes, Mike Weaver. He fought everybody, man. And his first defense is against a young, hungry lion named Mike Tyson. It was a snorer of a fight. They called him Bone Crusher Smith because we were expecting a knockdown, drag out. Bone Crusher Smith is coming off a one-round stoppage of Tim Witherspoon that we all thought was legit until we were told by the man himself what happened. But I was looking at Bone Crusher Smith like this guy's got a good nickname, man. This is Bone Crusher, and Mike Tyson, his first defense, and this is to unify the WBC and the WBA. The IBF title, Michael Spinks is stripped of that title. That title's vacant right now. Mike Tyson takes on James Bone Crusher Smith to unify the WBA and WBC, and it's a boring fight. I remember sitting here watching that fight. I thought it was going to be a lot more exciting. See, this is when I was coming out of the haze too, because I remember I was awakening. I was getting out of my addiction during the spring of '87. I had lost a couple of jobs. I had lost a family. I lost everything, man. The car got hooked. You name it. Everything got hooked, including me. But this fight, I remember the clarity of it, man. Jory Faint, salute, my brother. Salute, man. Thank you much for coming by, man. And forgive me for rambling, man. I'm just kind of going back and remembering this heavyweight tournament. Fight by fight, night by night, emotion by emotion. Andre, salute, brother. Good to see you in here, my man. So now we got Mike Tyson as a unified WBA and WBC heavyweight champ. And in the meantime, like I stated earlier, Michael Spinks was stripped of the IBF title, so that title's on the line. It's vacant. And you got and he was stripped because he didn't fight Tony Tucker. So you got Tony Tucker, and you got this guy named James Buster Douglas from out of Ohio that nobody really heard much of him. Let's go in there. Let's see what Bone Crusher Smith. Let's see what Buster Douglas did up into this fight. In fact, you know what we can do, man? We can even bring this fight up on the screen. First of all, I want to take a look and see what the Bone Crusher did here. Let me see. Bone Crusher's taking on Tony Tucker is undefeated at 33-0. Bone Crusher lost her. He got defeats to Jesse Ferguson, Jesse Thunder Ferguson, a folklore in himself who's got quite a history in there. He got beat by Mike the Giant White, who was a heavyweight of the 80s. He was 7 feet tall. He was a freak, but he just didn't have the power. And he had a draw with aforementioned Stefan Tangstedt from Norway, the Norwegian light heavyweight, the Norwegian heavyweight who got beat by Michael Spinks, and Michael Spinks' only attempt in the tournament. But anyway, man, we got Bone Crusher. I keep saying Bone Crusher because Bone Crusher's on my mind. Bone Crusher's out of the tournament. Bone Crusher's beaten by Mike Tyson. Emson, Buster Douglas lost against David Bay and struggled against Tex Cobb. Yeah, this is after these fights here, bro. This is after the fights with Tony Tucker, I believe. Yeah, before Tony Tucker, he's got a victory over Greg Page, but he was beaten by Ferguson. He's got a victory over Tex Cobb. Very, very underachiever, like I said. Hey, Paul Driscoll, my brother. Salute, man. Salute, man. Oh yeah, Larry Holmes stopped Bone Crusher. That was in '84. I remember that night, my brother. But anyway, man. Getting back to this tournament. Tony Tucker and James Douglas. James Buster Douglas. Let me see if I can get this. My buddy Nick M, man. Nick M, one of the coolest guys out there. Nick M's boxing channel. We can watch a little bit of this fight. Bring it up on the big screen. They're kind of going to tell us what we know. Let's Mills Lane, referee in this fight. We're in Caesar's Palace. And there's James Buster Douglas, man. And his next fight would be with, not his direct next fight, but just after this, man. The man would shock the world. And Don King is in his corner. And he's fighting for the title that was that was stripped from Michael Spinks. And they're in Caesar's Palace, the outdoor arena. And this I don't know if this was on HBO. Yeah, of course it was HBO. What am I even saying here? And I think this was on a Friday night. HBO used to be big on showing their fights on Friday nights. We'll get into some of the highlights of this fight. And of course I get right to the end. Hey, there's my brother the Pigeon out there, man. Pigeon hitting that casino, bro. Hope you're doing well, man. Oh yeah, Caesar's Palace during these fights, the outdoor arena. They would go construct these arenas, man. 30,000 people. Look at the size of that, the parking lot. And then they strip it down and park cars in there again until the next fight came. Oh, Page, sorry to hear that, man. Buster Douglas. I don't know if that's his father in there training him. But Don King would throw these fights together, and just fantastic stuff. And they just go on and on. The winner fought the winner. But we really didn't expect. See, James Buster Douglas, he quit in this fight basically. Very, very lackluster performance. And like I said, the classic underachiever. But that one night in Tokyo. Tony Tucker, classic fighter, fought out of the Kronk gym. Buster Douglas trying to go for the fences. And Mills Lane just shoves him out of the way. Folds a little bit more. Both of these guys very, very tentative. And this is a time too where they're the heavyweight division was picking up when Mike Tyson was just knocking these guys over like bowling pins. It's almost like the fighters did not want to win a belt because their reward for that belt was to get in there with a young, hungry tiger like Mike Tyson, who wasn't paying that much yet and was just kicking ass. Hey, Gil Coles, how we doing, my brother? Salute to you, man. Salute to you. And once again, special thanks to Nick M's Classic Boxing channel for allowing me to show these fights. And see, Buster Douglas is this is not the night. And still got an overhand right. He's got the jab. You can see that he's got all the talent in the world. But it was just something. He just didn't have that heart. He gave up. He was in there as an opponent. Maybe he didn't have he wasn't thinking. He was overthinking it, realizing the winner of this fight had to go in there with Mike Tyson. He busted with that. That was the 1-2 that gave Mike Tyson fits in Japan. Buster Douglas had that. Every once in a while, he'd show these flashes of brilliance, but then he'd just revert to the old fall to the ropes, cover up, pretty much offer himself up for a TKO. And you can see nice work by Tony Tucker. Move it up a little bit. Mazeg, salute, brother. Good to see you in here, man. Tucker was rated 1. Douglas was rated 2, I believe, in the IBF. And we're in round number 8. And this is, like I said, this is the Don King heavyweight tournament. We're kind of coming towards the end of it here. We're getting towards the finales, the final four, so to speak. And remember, there are only 3 belts too. There aren't 4 belts as there are today. But we've got Mike Tyson holding the WBA and the WBC, and the winner of this fight, the IBF, who's already signed to fight Mike Tyson in the next fight. So maybe Buster Douglas is looking at that like, I don't know, man, I don't know. Columbus, Ohio. I think that's his dad, Billy Douglas. Former light heavyweight. Is that the Hilton? Are we in the parking lot of the Hilton right now? A mass of humanity. Yep, the Las Vegas Hilton. See, this was one of the few times that I've seen Buster Douglas that I watched him fight. Being in the main event, and when the news came that he was going to fight Mike Tyson in Tokyo, absolutely no excitement. They gave him no chance whatsoever, no chance in the world. Based on, with me, it was pretty much based on this performance where he just gave up the title. He quit. You'll see it. We'll watch the end. See, nice left hook by Douglas. Douglas shooting out that left jab. But Tony Tucker too, man. Tony Tucker, a great fighter. See, Mike Tyson, people say he didn't fight anybody, blah, 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 blah. He fought the best out there, bro. These guys are belt holders, former and future. He fought the best that were out there. You can only fight the best opposition of your day. And there ain't no doubt about it. Mike Tyson, unlike the heavyweights today, he cleaned out the division single-handedly. There goes Tony Tucker with a good overhand right. Tony Tucker going downstairs. Buster Douglas is getting a little bit discouraged at this point. He always had the tag of coming in and fading in fights. That Toka is singing tonight. Susanna, my sister. Peace and love. Peace and love. Uh-oh, my battery's running low on this. I gotta go plug in my laptop. Okay. All right, man. Mills Lane saying something to Tony Tucker. And Mills Lane, man, what a great referee Mills Lane was. His son was on was talking to D Styles on his show the other day. His name is Terry Lane. He's involved with Zhili Zhang. Man, just look at the people that are watching this fight. It's amazing. 30,000 people in a parking lot in Vegas. Now they've got the stadium there, man. Can't even think of the name of it right now. But they have. Vegas is the place. In fact, this weekend, I cannot wait for this weekend. We're in the past right now, but getting to the future. What a card on Saturday. And then we got the Matias and Pura fight coming on at the same time. I'm going to be watching it, man. I'm going to have 2 screens, 3 screens, so miss no action. If you want to hear it live and you don't have a stream for it, come in. I'll give you one. If you don't want to do that, I'll call a fight for you. But here we go, man. We're in round number 10. James Buster Douglas and Tony Tucker for the vacant IBF heavyweight title in this tournament, man. Don King's heavyweight tournament. We're in the finals. We're moving on in the tournament. Wait a minute here. I'm gonna have to put this on pause. I'm gonna have to go into my tunes, replay this. There we go, man. Do that. Back on the fight. There we go. Sorry about that. Gotta have them tunes in the background. And James Buster Douglas is still throwing that jab, still not giving up yet. But you can see the style, and that style, when he's got that thing in overdrive, kick the shit out of an ill-prepared Mike Tyson. Never looked that good again. Never since. Them's the old days. But we can see Tony Tucker. Tony Tucker, man, this is when Tony Tucker does his best work right now. And you can see Buster Douglas just kind of gives up. I was so bummed at the end of this fight watching it live. Boom, see the overhand rights, the hook just takes it right out of Douglas. A couple of body shots in right hand. You're going to see no protest when the referee comes in here. We're in the 10th round, uppercuts, right hands. I mean, Tucker's just teeing off, and that's it. And James Buster Douglas, look at, I mean, that's it's almost sad. It's almost sad, but it is boxing, man. Thanks, Marvin. But that was that was part of this great tournament that happened, and on the same card, man, on the same card, Mike Tyson also made a defense of his Parmis El Pinche. I guess that's you, brother. Salute to you, my man. But on the same card, Mike Tyson defended his title against Pinklon Thomas, who was already eliminated from the tournament. But they had Mike Tyson making his first defense, and Pinklon Thomas, man, Pinklon, he had a steel chin. Mike Tyson destroyed Pinklon Thomas. I mean, it was devastating. It was one of Tyson's best devastations, and that set up for the final fight of the tournament, and that was Mike Tyson and Tony Tucker, and that was for the undisputed heavyweight championship. But you guys still remember Michael Spinks, who never got beat in this tournament, who dropped out of it to fight Jerry Cooney, is still considered the lineal heavyweight champion. So Mike Tyson beats Tony Tucker in the finals, but he's still not happy. He's still not considered to be the best, because some people have Michael Spinks as the best. And this was a very, very tumultuous time for Mike Tyson, because while this tournament's going on, Customato dies, Jimmy Jacobs dies, Don King is having a tug of war trying to get Mike Tyson on his side. Robin Givens is in the picture. I mean, Mike Tyson was out of control. He was off the wall. I got a text. I got to see who it is, man. Hang on a sec. Make sure it's not important. They're all important, but make sure it's not a killer. Just Spotify telling me they got the perfect playlist for me. That's a real important text. But getting back into this tournament once again, Mike Tyson is the winner of the tournament, but Michael Spinks is still considered the lineal champ. So that fight had to be made, and so in essence, this tournament really wasn't over. I mean, with finally with all the having it well marinated, Don King had the Atlantic City. He had Caesar's Palace in Atlantic City, the Trump Taj Mahal. I can't remember which hotel it was at, but it was probably one of the last huge fights in Atlantic City. I mean, huge fight. Now they wouldn't even consider putting it in Atlantic City. But in the end, it ended up with Mike Tyson not only winning the tournament, but finally beating Michael Spinks in what was considered to be a major, huge fight, one of the most expensive payouts in boxing history. Lasted about 40 sub-1 seconds. Mike Tyson was just an animal in his prime. Went through an undefeated, never been knocked down before, Michael Spinks, and just destroyed him. Michael Spinks never fought again. It was a great time to be a fan of heavyweight boxing. And right now is a great time to be a fan of boxing too. But I'll tell you, man, if you could go back to 1986, 1987, and witness this tournament as it was going down, where it wasn't as condensed as what Turki Al-Sheikh is doing now. And what I mean is it took place over 2 years. But yet the champions all fought champions one after another. There was no question who was the best of the era. It was Mike Tyson, and hey, I'm glad I could remember that. Yeah, well, the Larry Holmes thing was that was when Don King wanted to get some names on Mike Tyson's resume. Larry Holmes was a guy who couldn't turn down money. Don King knew that Larry, for all intents and purposes, was retired, but he lured him lured him out of retirement. He was ill prepared for this Mike Tyson, destroyed him. And like I said, man, in that era, that short amount of time, Mike Tyson was the best. Mike Tyson was the best heavyweight on the planet. There were games made about him. I mean, he was the man, bro. It was just amazing stuff, and it was all this heavyweight tournament. And Don King, love him, hate him, whatever, he put it on for us. He's still putting on fights to this day. 92 years old. So's Bob Arum, and BruceGas is still watching, and he'll be talking about him with you. So I don't know if I'm going to do a quiz tomorrow, Friday night, a trivia. Maybe I will. But either way, Saturday for sure. Boxing is going to be happening. It's starting at 5. I'm going to come on about 8, I think. And hey, D-Ray, my brother, good to see you in here, bro. I'm just about to sign off. I just wanted to come in here for about an hour and talk about that heavyweight tournament, just to kind of keep it going, keep something happening every day, man. Try to get my subs up a little bit, man. And thank you all for coming in here, man. I'm gonna go trolling right now, bop around, see who's doing their YouTube broadcasts, and get back into the future again. So thanks for reliving the past with me, and I'm out of here. Peace.